I'm back with more alcohol markers. Yeah, so I've been practicing with my markers a bit, these Ohuhu art markers from my last video, and like I knew I would have to expand my range of colors eventually, but I didn't know I would struggle as much as I did. So like I did that cloud before. Let's see if I can do this without, yeah. And then I went and did a Barrett. It's okay, but I do feel like specifically the range of skin colors, like the colors I could use to make skin and blend out skin, was very, very lacking. So, since it's technically the last day of Obon today, though I have another day off because I don't work on Mondays, I thought I was just bored. I've been staying home for most of Obon, so it's been like a number of days since I even went outside. So I was like, I'm just gonna go towards the station and see if I can pick up, like, see what colors the dollar store alcohol marker ranges have. When I say dollar store, I mean the 100 yen shops. So there's two near me, and one is Daiso, the other is Seria, and they both have their own ranges of illustration markers, which are alcohol markers. And so let me actually move this because that was from Daiso. I went and looked, and I went to see if there was any other useful colors for skin tones, and these are $1 each for each pack. I say $1, but actually the yen is much weaker than the dollar at the moment, so it's 100 yen, which is roughly equivalent to $1 US. So I spent $5 for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 pens. Also, while I was at Seria, I did get this to, I have a bunch of boxes holding my stickers, so I need to move my stickers and put them in that box because I have a lot of multiple sticker designs sharing the same drawers. Anyways, so let's open these up. I'll start with this one because this is not an alcohol marker. This is an oil-based marker, and I got it because I only have like one good working fine liner at the moment, and I have another set that are drying out, and the only fine liner I have is a 0.5, and it's a little thicker than what I want for a lot of my illustrations. So this one is 0.7 on one end and 0.3 on the other, and I got it because it's oil-based. I guess we tear here. I was looking for a place to peel. So this would be the point, and it's written right here, 0.7 and 0.3. I expected a stronger smell since it's oil-based, but it's not actually that smelly. So that's this, and I'm hoping that this will not get smudged, so we have to do a test here. So I'm gonna write a quick line somewhere in here. I'll do it here. So that's the 0.7 and the 0.3, which honestly doesn't look much thinner than my 0.5. So we'll let that dry. And let's open these markers. So for the Daiso ones, they actually, I was surprised. I guess there's 2 types. I thought there was only one, but this one's called Fluently Illustration Marker Alcohol Type. This one is just Illustration Marker Alcohol Type. So I don't know if they've just changed the packaging or if they have another line there as well. Because this, I mean, the packaging is, here's a little different, but also the color of the pen is different. So this one also says 7 millimeters and 1 millimeter. This does not give us, oh yeah, it does. So this one is 1 and 7, so they're the same. So I wonder if they're just changing the packaging up, but the colors I got for Daiso were, I wonder if they're gonna have like what I'm supposed to say in English. So this one is Airy Pink, which I'm guessing is Airy Pink, and Pink Okuru, which is Pink Ochre. And of course I couldn't try these out. I just had to go by the color that they gave us here. I'm gonna save that for after. This is Cherry Pink, and Powder Pink. And this I basically got because it has pumpkin in the name, Pumpkin Yellow and Pale Lemon. I got this because I figured for more yellow skin tones, this might be a good first layer, but also because the pumpkin. Otherwise, I wouldn't have got it. And then for Seria, they had most of the same colors. Like, I didn't get reds, blues, I didn't get blacks, because I have them already for my Ohuhu set. And so I was trying to find ones that they didn't have in terms of what would suit a skin tone. So these ones are, what are these colors? It says 25 and 26, but what are they? I actually looked it up online, some blog post, and they might not have names. Oh no, it says, it's right here, Latte Beige and Ecru Beige. Yeah, on the blog post they did swatches and they only wrote the numbers, so I wasn't sure if these were the same ones, and I don't think they are. I didn't see these numbers. So also in the blog post it was much thicker. It was like this, but this says fine body. So I did not see any thick bodies. Is that an earthquake? What the heck? Maybe someone stomped on the stairs. Jeez. Gave me a heart attack. Was that an earthquake? That was a very fast earthquake if it was. Anyways, let's try these out. I'm gonna go on a new page so we don't have to look at my ugly very first tries. And I'm gonna open these up. Okay. Now, this is from a sticker sheet or sticker paper, so I'm hoping it's not going to bleed through if I put that there. Let's go and start with the black ones. Oh, I do want to let me clarify something first before I forget. When I was looking for new colors that I didn't have, there were like 2 browns. There were like 2, I don't even, like this is all I have, right, for browns, for these Ohuhu ones. The only ones that I saw at Daiso were like this, and I think it was called Caramel, and then there was like this at Seria. That was it. There was nothing in between. It was very frustrating. And so that's why you'll notice these are all, when we talk about skin tone colors, they are lighter skin tone colors. And that's because I just could not find I could not find anything that I didn't already have and that was any darker than this. So very frustrating. I'm still going to be on the lookout. I am going out tomorrow and I am going to go and check and see, because at Yuzawa, I think I'll go to. So we'll see. Anyways, let's start with the Fluently. Again, I have no idea if this is different. It looks almost the same on the back. So maybe they just changed the packaging? So I remember they were black before. Maybe they just don't want black ones anymore. So we'll start with the Airy Pink. Oh, so this is what the brush nib looks like. And this is the chisel. They smell a bit strong, though I did just put it right up to my nose. And they're pretty light. Oh, I like that. Oh, I would have really preferred, that's so much lighter and not as pink. Let's try the, here, let's test this marker out. Let me use the smaller one. So this is Airy Pink. This is Fluently. I want to compare this one to the Ohuhu Nude, because this was, when I was doing Cloud, the only light option. Yeah, look at the difference. That's so much darker. So this is Nude Ohuhu. Now I know Ohuhu has a skin tone set. I just don't have it yet. So I thought I'd pick these up since they're cheap, and I wanted to try out Dyson's markers anyway. So that's Airy Pink. Should I try out the chisel nib? Yeah. Airy Pink. Now this one is Pink Ochre. Okay, so this is, we'll see how it dries. But that's pretty similar. It's a little cooler than Nude. So this is, what did I say, Pink Ochre? Pink Ochre Fluently. That's almost indistinguishable from this one. It's kind of in between Airy Pink and Nude. It is very pink though, which makes sense. It is pink. So what about, let's try the next ones. Let's do the white Daiso markers. So again, these all have pink in the name, and they came in sets of 2. I probably wouldn't have chosen this one if I had the option not to. It is, like, I don't have this color if we're going by the cap color, but we'll see what it actually looks like. It is very fluorescent, it looks like. Yeah, that looks, if I'm looking over at my Cloud drawing, that looks almost exactly like that pink, the Ohuhu Pink. So this is, what do I label this? I'll just say ill marker, and this is Cherry Pink. Now let's do Ohuhu and 1895. I want to compare because it looks almost the same. Oh, that's even darker. I mean, it hasn't dried yet, but That might be nice for like a blush color. I'm not mad at it, but obviously I can use it for things apart from just skin. Now this is what I really wanted, powder pink. So let's try powder pink. Where should I put this? Here? Nice, you can hardly see it on the cream paper. That makes me so happy. I mean, maybe it's not good for this paper, but powder pink ill marker. The first thing I thought about was, if I'm going to continue doing Final Fantasy VII characters, how am I going to do Tifa's skin? I don't even know if you can see that on camera now that it's dried. But that is perfect for Tifa's skin. And Aerith too, I think. But Tifa's very, very pale. So I think that is perfect. You can't even see it. Let me get white paper. Do I have any white? I must have white paper somewhere. That's palette paper. I need white paper. Maybe in here? This is watercolor paper. I don't want to color on the back of the Zagreus. Why don't we do this? Let's see if powder pink shows up on white. Barely. But you can see it. So I don't know how useful that is, but it would make a nice base for very light skin tones. And I think the flow of the chisel, ooh, ripped up the paper, is more, because I did the same thing with the other one. It looked a little darker. Yeah, interesting. Can you even see that? I think that's awesome. I'm really happy with that. That's impressive, because a lot of drop my paper. Like, I knew going into alcohol markers, a lot of the colors are quite dark. So, very pleased. I can't even see it now. Alright. Let's keep going then. The one that I wasn't gonna buy until I saw the word pumpkin. But again, this might work for more yellow skin tone, so I'm curious to see how it's gonna look with the powder pink. And that's the chisel tip. Again, very, very pale. I can't even see the powder pink now. And that's the chisel tip. So that is the pale lemon. I know I'm not being consistent with how I'm writing this, but sorry. Pale lemon. I'll say, okay, so as it dries, it gets more yellow. So I'm curious to see if we can layer this on top and how that's gonna look. Let that dry for a second. Okay, so far so good. Let's try out the Cydia ones. Again, these are not the fat, like these ones that I saw in the blog posts that I looked at before. So I wonder how they're different. We'll start with the lighter one first. Oh wait, no, hold on. I didn't do the pumpkin. Do we want to skip the pumpkin? It's not really in the skin tone theme, but Let's just do that. Oh, that's a perfect pumpkin color. I'm so glad I got it. Because this one is the closest thing, yeah, in the Ohuhus, and that looks darker. Which is fine. There are many different shades of pumpkin, but that's definitely darker. That one was just called Orange, I think. Or Marigold. Maybe that one was Marigold, and this one is Orange, which is very vibrant. Like fluorescent. So I'm very, very pleased with this because I love painting pumpkins and drawing pumpkins. So I'm in love with this marker. Anyways, not the skin tone, so I mean maybe it's a skin tone. Maybe it would mix well. I wonder. Anyways, let's start with the pale one. Again, I'm not sure if it's gonna show up on this paper, so there's pumpkin bleed through from the other page here, so I'm gonna go over here. Ooh, I like this. This is so much cooler than the really, really pink ones, and that's what was really missing from the Ohuhu set. I would have used this for cloud. Like in the lightest spots, I probably would have done powder pink. Use the brush. I maybe waited too long. Ah, it's a chisel. Oh, what the heck? Looks like it's lifting. Let's take a long time to dry. Alright. Why is that so wet? Anyways, this one's a much different color. So I have a feeling, even with this type of skin tone, yeah, that's what I was looking for, a cooler skin tone. Oh, I forgot to write. So this was, what did we say it was? Because these ones have the number on that. So it's ecru beige. This one was ecru beige, right? Ecru beige. This one is called illustration alcohol marker. So we'll just do Cydia. Yes. And this one was latte beige. Latte beige. Yes, Cydia. So I feel like if we're doing a really light skin tone, this might be a good transition color for shading. If we're doing a darker skin tone, it is a little pale, but you could use that as a base. When I say, I don't mean pale, I mean it's very dull, it's very cool. Now that is blending out actually kind of nice. That looks almost orange now that it's dried. Interesting. So that was this, and this. Huh. I do really like this color. This one might be my favorite one. Powder pink, I literally, now that it's fully dry, I cannot see it. It must be the exact same as the cream paper. Let's make sure it didn't bleed through. No? Even where I really did it, you can kind of see it there. Okay, so this is nice. Okay, and that's still wet. So the next test would be for our oil pen. This is Zebra, just called the Maki, what is that? Maki Care? Marky Care? Is that what it's supposed to be? So we'll try the Cydia ones first. Use the chisel. It's kind of smudging. It's not on the tip. That's smudgy. I don't think it's gonna work. I don't think it's gonna work. No, it's like dissolving. Dang. Well, that can go there. I know this ink, which is, what is this called? Oh, I can't even remember. Does it say on here? No. I know this is also, oh, and it's run out. Never mind. That one's not waterproof. I wonder if these Don Quixote ones, ballpoint pens, because I know some people use ballpoint pens. Ooh, this would be interesting. The Tombow Hudenosuke pen. This is the shikari type, the hard type. Water-based though. But I wonder. So you can get real thin to pretty thick. So I'll let that dry for a second. My other liners. I know the Micron works. These are water resistant. Specifically water resistant. So this is the Hudenosuke. Let's try with, I don't want to stain any of them. Use the chisel nip. Hudenosuke. How's that working? It's not nearly as bad as the Daiso one. That's actually, it's not moving. I think we're good. What about, oh no, no, it's on the tip. Okay, definitely not the ballpoint pen. And this was the art line liners. That's supposed to be water resistant. That's fine. So, shockingly, the Hudenosuke is not really moving. I'll give you a close-up. Here. So this is the Hudenosuke. Maybe it's bleeding just a little bit, but it's hardly noticeable. That was the ballpoint pen, not good at all, and that was the Artline fine liner. If it wants to focus. Yeah, so that's that. These are our swatches. I know not the prettiest swatches. I don't really care to do pretty swatches. Pretty good so far. I think I definitely won't use the cherry pink at all. I don't think I would have chosen it if I had a choice. But it did come in the same one as the powder pink, which is my favorite. Or second favorite, I'm not really sure. Because powder pink is good, but you can kind of see it now. If you go over it a couple times, it does get darker. You can see it right. Sorry, I know there's a shadow. I'm very sorry. The sun is set already. You can kind of just barely see it. Definitely better. That is a very bright yellow, so I don't know if I will be, now that it's dried, very unlikely I'll use it for skin tones. Maybe for some lighting, maybe like reflections on skin or something. Latte beige, pretty satisfied with that. I'm glad there's a cooler color. These two Cydia ones, definitely cooler. I'll go back at some point and see if there's any more, because I'm not sure if the entire collection was there. But we're getting just about to the 30-minute mark now, so I'm going to go ahead and stop there. I'm definitely going to try using these for my next illustration. I think I will do Tifa next. I just wanted to film a quick clip to say that I bought a couple more things. I went to a different Cydia, and they did have this set of cacao brown and caramel brown. So I tried that out. And then I did go and get just a small, what would you call this, sketchbook, notebook of marker paper, and this is Copic paper. So I decided to use this marker paper to make a swatch sheet for my Hyakin markers, and I wanted to see if there was anything that was really close already that maybe I didn't need compared to the Ohuhu. And honestly, I don't think there's anything super similar. So I'm pretty happy with what I did get. Definitely a lot lighter colors and cooler colors for sure. I mean, barring these three at the bottom. Honestly though, remember that powder pink and how I couldn't see it? This is white paper. I see nothing. Is this like a faulty marker? There's nothing here. Now that it's dried, there's absolutely nothing. There's nothing there. So I don't know what the deal is with that. Maybe they just put the alcohol in and forgot to put the pigment, because there's literally no difference. Right? You can't even see. I swear there's something there. Maybe on camera I can actually kind of see it, but I cannot see it in person. Oh well. Anyways, so there was actually only one color that I was like, I think I might have that basically the same color in the Ohuhus. And that was the ones from Seria, 23 Cacao Brown, one of the ones I just bought. And so I compared it to the Ohuhu Warm Gray. And they're almost the same, but the Cacao Brown is definitely a little cooler. I don't know if this light is, because this light's really warm. Is that better? I don't know if you can tell on camera, but the Cacao Brown I think is definitely cooler. So it's not exactly the same, but it's super close. And yeah, this did bleed through because I forgot to put paper, but I went and put some palette paper back here. So that's an extra sheet wasted. But this is only like 500 yen, so it's whatever. I specifically bought it for testing and practice, so yeah, I'm very pleased with the colors that I've gotten so far. I was worried I would get things that were too similar, things that I didn't really need. But I don't think so. I think maybe I don't need the Cacao Brown, but there was nothing like the Caramel Brown that came with it. Like not even close. Everything was way too dark. Like the closest things would be maybe this row, but those are super dark compared to this, so I'm pleased. I'm happy. So we're gonna switch on over to a voiceover. Hopefully I won't be clearing my throat the whole time. I did end up getting tonsillitis, which is a big reason why this video took me so long to do, but we're gonna go for it. So here you can see I'm attempting to show you technically where I first practiced with these markers. I didn't record it. I mean, you can see there was a couple problems that I had. They sometimes blended out a little weirdly, but honestly I think it was mostly due to the paper. So I'm going to try coloring this Yuffie now, and this is on the marker paper with that sticker paper behind it. So I decided to start with the skin tone. I'm going in with that powder pink. And it turns out that you just got to do a bunch of layers before you can start seeing it. So I think I ended up doing 3 layers of this powder pink just for the base skin tone, just the lightest part. I did immediately notice that while these markers are still really juicy, like the ink flow is a lot, they didn't bleed quite as much on the marker paper as they did on my sketchbook paper, and that was a big problem that I was having with Tifa. Was I had to be so careful because any of the Cydia, especially the Cydia ones, but also the Daiso ones a little bit, they really bled. And so I just had to have a really light hand, especially in really narrow spots. And I started going over with a slightly darker color and trying to blend out with that powder pink. At first I was a little nervous because it looked a little splotchy, but as it dried and I did more layers, it ended up being a pretty smooth blend. So I think you just have to be careful not to do too much, like push too hard. Otherwise it can sort of lift the ink a bit. Obviously, I had very, very limited colors from the 100 yen shop, so I did use the ohuhus for colors that I didn't have, like darker shadows for the skin and stuff like that. The 100 yen markers did blend pretty well with the ohuhu ones. I still think it's a little difficult, a little more difficult to get a smooth blend with the 100 yen markers, but there wasn't that much of a difference, particularly on this marker paper. My very next step is going to be to get a much wider range of grays, like gray tones. The Ohuhu ones have like a nice whole row of gray, but they're pretty dark and also either really warm, like the warm gray, or really cool. So I'm looking for more neutral grays and more in between shades. Yuffie's hair is like a very dark brown color, so I was trying to first lay down like a light brown, because that would be like the lightest parts of her hair, and then continue to go over with darker browns. But because my range of dark browns was like pretty limited, I didn't have much in between. I was hoping to sort of use my grays to darken them, and they were also very warm, so I was trying to use the cool grays to uh, neutralize the warm browns a bit to make it more like a, because she has like a pretty medium tone brown. Well, it's dark brown, but it's not too warm and it's not too cool. It's almost black, except when the light's hitting it. But I just did, it's probably a combination of the fact that I just don't have that many colors of brown, and also I'm very new to alcohol markers and I had no idea what I was doing. So it did not end up working the way I had hoped. So her hair is kind of weird. Her shadows are like brown and everything else is like way too cool and light. But no matter how many times I layered, it just did not turn out the way I wanted. Also, the Sedia, like the lightest tone I did was a Cydia marker. It bled a lot and it was so hard. Even with the Ohuhus, it was still hard to get really a fine a really fine point for all those parts of her hair that get really narrow. So I'm not a fan of how it looks. No matter how hard I tried, I just could not get the line thin enough. So maybe that's just something I'm gonna have to think about when I'm doing line art and stuff. Like make the narrowest part not so narrow, but I hate that. I hate that. So if you have any tips, if you know how to just do really narrow
lines or points with alcohol markers without them bleeding, let me know, because that was a struggle, and I think this would look so much better if that didn't happen every time I got to like the end of her hair. This was another moment where I really wished that I had lighter gray tones that weren't so blue, because the metal in her headband was pretty neutral gray, and this was just super blue. So there's nothing I can really do about that. So I used the darkest green that I had in the Ohuhu set for her sweater. Ironically, considering I was struggling to find lighter colors for everything else, um, I didn't have a darker green than this. So I ended up trying out a gray. It wasn't quite dark enough, and then I used another gray. It was okay. It ended up looking a little splotchy and kind of weird, but it's whatever. Let's not even talk about this whole shoulder situation. It's all right for what I had, but this again is just another a situation where I just want a larger variety of gray tones, and I just didn't feel like I could do the transitions that I wanted to. But it's fine. It's whatever. Except for the like cushiony part and like the top part of that. It was weird. It's not dark enough. I don't know. Don't judge me. So here she is. She's finished. I think the white gel pen really came in clutch when it came to her pauldron and all the shiny bits on the metal and whatnot. Overall, I do really like these alcohol markers. I think for being literally 50 yen each, they're super good. And if you're just starting out and that's all you can afford, I would say go for it. The reason I ended up getting the Ohuhus was because for the price, it was actually about the same. But if you need to supplement with more colors, for sure go for it. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.